What up? It's your boy The Incredible. Look at my face. Look at my face. Oh boy. Okay. I just watched Fire Force episode 21. And I can't even put into words how amazing and fantastic this episode was. Whew. Oh. Okay. First off, I'm gonna dive right into it because if not, I'm gonna ramble because I'm diving straight into this Shinra and SHO fight. First off, we dive right into right after last week's episode, and we see Lisa, Dr. Giovanni, Vulcan, and Captain Obi. And like I predicted, Captain Obi, Vulcan, Lisa, and Dr. Giovanni got into a fight. It was Lisa versus Vulcan and Captain Obi. But Dr. Giovanni started to enter towards the end because we learned that he was buying time for SHO and Shinra to have a confrontation. Now, this whole fight that they were having, it was led up to the point to where we learned that Lisa is pretty much being brainwashed, and we kind of saw snippets of her, like her flashback when she first met Vulcan. And we learned that Dr. Giovanni set it all up from the beginning so she could be involved with Vulcan, so he could have a line to Vulcan, and he brainwashed her, and he injected her with one of the bugs because she had a fear of flames because her family was killed by infernals. So there was a lot of stuff going on at the beginning. And then we have a fight between Lisa and Captain Obi. Now, Captain Obi started setting up so much going on so he can expunge her tentacles because he wanted to save Lisa. Vulcan wanted to save Lisa, and so did Captain Obi because he's a Fire Force firefighter, and that's their job, is to save people, and he wanted to save Lisa. He could tell that she was hurting, and he wanted to save her. But let's be real, like the animation in that part of the episode with Lisa's tentacles was so beautiful. Like the magnetism of the fire and everything, it looked so good. The way it moved, the color scheme of it all, it was just fantastic. Now, in that whole part of this episode, we also have Captain Obi going straight ham. Now, he started doing all this stuff to Lisa to save her, but then when Dr. Giovanni captured Lisa and threatened to kill her. Now, I know now that she's brainwashed, so no matter if he done that or not, she still wants to follow him and still wants to be there with him. But he impaled her, and he like wrapped a burning cord around her. They even tried to kill you, girl, brainwashing or not. But that at that point he had her captured, and he wanted Vulcan to kill Captain Obi. And at that point we were like, well, I didn't believe it at first, but then he turned out he did shoot him. He shot him, but Captain Obi had some protective gear on under that, and Dr. Giovanni was like, how did you escape? And Captain Obi was like, well, I don't know, baby. I'm not telling you. And then Vulcan comes up. Oh, it was like, I put something under his coat. It would protect him. I'm the 8th engineer, so I'm not letting my captain go out unprotected. And then they showed like a nice still picture of Captain Obi. He was like, so it was nice. But in that moment, we also, when Captain Obi got up, this man pulled... Granted, it's like an old, used, abandoned subway tunnel, but still, he pulled the train tracks up out of the ground. That is phenomenal for someone that's not powered. Like, I know he trains every single day, but still, dude, I don't think the world's strongest man could pull a railway railroad line straight up out of the ground. No way, that was crazy. And then they go into the whole fight, and he explains why he done all of this, how he set everything up. Then he kind of dives into what the Adola Burst is and the reason why the Evangelists and the White Coats are doing everything that they're doing. And then he kind of goes into that the Evangelist isn't an idol, and he went to this whole like theology part of it, and he explained what they believe, and I believe they're crazy. Let's be real, like they're crazy. But he broke it down into what they believed. And granted, he done all of this just to buy time for SHO and Shinra. Now, we also have at that moment, we have Vulcan fighting Dr. Giovanni a little bit himself too. And the coolest thing happened. He turned and transformed to like a penguin helmet with like rocket thrusters. And in that moment, when that happened, the only thing that came to my mind was Inazuma 11 with the whole penguin where they bit Kiddo's leg, and they started in the flying penguins. It was so cool. That brought back to my memory. Then forget everything that happened there, because I kind of combined everything that happened there in with them talking all into one thing. Because this is what I really wanted to focus on. That was good. Don't get me wrong. That was a good fight, and it was nice, and it kind of progressed the story as well, because we learned that Lisa has been brainwashed in what the Evangelists want, and kind of what the Adola Burst is in a little bit, and then he kind of broke it down into what they believe and everything. Then we get to see Shinra is being kind of tormented by the evangelist and like the Adola Link thing, and we see, and that whole scene where like the monster was coming out of the ground and over his head it was like another copy of him dripping red stuff. So in that whole moment and scene, it didn't feel like Soul Eater. It felt like Soul Eater, but way darker. This episode was dark to me. Like in certain scenes, like with the whole SHO and Shinra fight, and then that moment where they showed all of the stuff that was going. This episode was dark. It was crazy dark. Then, after all that happened, we see like the devil's footprints leading him somewhere, and it comes into contact with him fighting SHO. Now, then he gets into a whole fight with SHO, and they're going back and forth. Now, dude, in that moment, like every other part of the episode, it looked good. It looked good. But with that fight that they had, that was anime movie quality fight. Tell me it wasn't. Tell me that wasn't anime quality movie fighting in that whole fight between SHO and Shinra. And it was phenomenal. The way that the lights shined on them, and then the room went dark. The way that they came, and like at the moment SHO would hit Shinra or something, then you'd see a flash, then you'd see them. The way that they were speeding back and forth through the whole fight. Victor couldn't even keep up. We couldn't keep up. It was so intense. It was so crazy. It was so crazy. Then we also have them going back and forth, and we see Shinra using his new technique, but. And he started to, he was going ham with SHO too for a minute. For a minute, Shinra was putting the things in SHO. Like he really wasn't doing too much, but like he was going ham. Like the time when he took it and he was super speeding around him, that heated the ground and he wrapped him up in his own cape. There was a lot of stuff going on. And it was so good. The transitions for everything was so good. The lighting, the score, just the overall animation was just phenomenal, man. And people were like, I don't like Fire Force. I can't get into Fire Force. Show them this episode. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff that happened in other episodes that was good. But show someone this episode and this fight between SHO and Shinra, and I guarantee you, any anime fan will fall in love with Fire Force at that moment. Because it was just that phenomenal. So in the whole fight, then we also, at that point, we also start to see that SHO started to freeze and stop time. Victor couldn't figure it out. He's rattling in his brain. So, that means we don't know either. So, but like every time he does it, like steam pops out of his shoulders or whatever. But he was stopping time. And in that moment, he would just demolish Shinra. And then, boom, like he unfreezes time and Shinra just crashes into something. Dude, that whole fight. That's a fight worth watching. Put that into an AMV chain. Put some good. Somebody create an AMV behind that fight. Put some nice tunes and scores and songs behind it, and that's gonna be a phenomenal AMV. And I'd save that one. Man, this whole fight scene was balls. And then at the end, we see him and Shinra was trying to figure out what was going on, and Victor was like, "Shinra-kun, we need to leave. We can't defeat SHO at this moment. We need to leave." And then all of a sudden. I think SHO may have actually connected Shinra to like the Adola thing because that we were seeing at the beginning, because then they appeared in that whole world, and as we learned throughout the fight, SHO was like his universe is ahead of Shinra, and then they ended up in this whole new world, and then it ends. Man, this episode was crazy. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of story progression. We're pretty much wrapping up with everything in the nether right now because everybody had a fight, and now we're just probably going to focus on Shinra and SHO. But dude, it went crazy. It went crazy. And that fight scene was the most wonderful thing. Man, I'm still so amazed about it. It looked so good, you guys. I know you guys felt the same way. It was just phenomenal, man. Oh boy. I'm going to end because if I don't, I'm just going to keep talking about that fight scene. That's everything that happened, but if I don't end my video, I'm going to keep talking about it, man. This is what incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, and SHO is a beast, man. Peace out, man.